going to talk through the major areas of opportunity. We're going to discuss the growth of PRS in the area, plans for the future of retail and employment, as well as looking at the Heathrow effect and the impact of that on the area's future. And we have a great panel of speakers here to talk to us. So from my left we have Justin Kenworthy, who's the Director of Barton Wilmore, Lucy Taylor, the Director of Regeneration and Planning at the London Borough of Ealing, James Pargeter, who's the Projects Director at Greystar, and then Tom Tetherington, Executive Property Director of Property and Growth for Catalyst, and he is in addition to the programme that you have printed there, so a good bonus for us there. We're going to begin with a couple of presentations, have a bit of discussion, and then we're going to come to you for some questions, so I hope that you'll be thinking of some good questions as we begin the discussion. But to start us off, Justin and Lucy are going to do a sort of joint presentation, and we're going to begin with Justin.
Good afternoon, everyone. Lucy and I will run through a quick 15-minute presentation about Ealing. The objectives of the presentation are to provide you with a contextual information about Ealing itself, explain why Ealing is a pro-development borough, where development managers, fund managers should be focusing their investments, provide examples of investment that's currently happening in Ealing, and also to explain the future of Ealing and where Lucy and her team expect future development and where to be and what type of development. However, before I do that, I'm just going to give you a brief introduction to Barton Wilmore. We are an integrated planning and design practice. We've got over 12 offices in the UK. We are one of the largest independent practices with 380 staff, and our London office provides a one-stop shop in relation to town planning, environmental, in terms of landscape design, architecture, graphics and research, etc. Very much a one-stop shop, multidisciplinary practice. Working with Tom at the end, working with Lucy in the middle there, and hopefully Greystar eventually, we'll be developing lots of development in Ealing. Our current schemes, Havelock Estate, St Bernard's Hospital, Dickens Yard, Market Beaton Works, and our future ones at the moment with Catalyst, for example, Friary Park Estate, Honda with Galliard, etc. So we've got a lot of experience in Ealing. We work very closely with the planning team. So now back to the main event, which is Ealing. I will now provide you with contextual analysis. Lucy will then follow with what developments are happening currently and what Lucy wants to see in the future. So, Ealing is in West London. It is well connected and it has access to 16 underground stations, all of which benefit from a PTEL of 4 or more, so a very accessible borough. It has 4 overground stations. It also has Elizabeth Line, so 5 Elizabeth Line stations, or Crossrail stations you refer to them, we all do. It also benefits from access to main roads, such as the A40, which will take you straight to the M25. It also has access to the North Circular. It also benefits from access to Parkway, which will take you directly to Heathrow by the road. So what does this mean from an accessibility point of view? Although you can currently travel from Ealing Broadway, for example, on the Central Line to Bond Street within 22 minutes, which in itself is quick. From May 2018, access to Heathrow will be achievable within 12 minutes via Crossrail. From December 2019, access to Bond Street will be achieved within 13 minutes via Crossrail, with then of course Tottenham Court Road, Liverpool Street and Canary Wharf beyond. So therefore, allowing for a short walking distance or short cycle to the station in the morning, you can be in the West End, or you can be in the city within 30 minutes, or you can be checking in for your flight at Heathrow within 30 minutes. An extremely accessible borough. Statistically, from 1991, the population of Ealing has grown from 280,000 to 340,000, an increase of about 60,000 in population terms, which is an average of about 2,500 per annum. From a population point of view, therefore, Ealing is the third largest borough in London. Between 2017 and 2025, the population is expected to grow by another 45,000, which is an average of about 5,600 per annum. So a massive change in the number of population coming into the borough. Of course, this additional population requires housing, it requires jobs, and it requires convenient services. Although the average wage is marginally less than the London average, it has risen by £3,000 in the last 10 years and is higher than the national average, and this trend is set to continue. There is a strong demand in Ealing for homes, commercial floor space, hence why Greystar, Berkeley Homes, Redrow, Galliard, Capitalist Housing Limited, Countryside, L&G, they're all investing in the borough. In terms of the average house price in Ealing, this is approximately 560,000. Now this is currently inflated as a result of the historical trend towards more family accommodation in the area, or houses or larger homes. Now this is changing. Ealing's demand for flats in accessible locations is growing significantly, particularly on rail infrastructure nodes. And eMove has indicated that the average house price in Ealing is set to grow to 1.1 million by 2030. And the Commercial Estates Group has seen office rental levels in, for example, Ealing Broadway, rising from £38.5 per square foot to £55 per square foot as demand for office floor space grows. So to conclude in that respect, growth and investment in Ealing is happening now, and developers are receiving good returns on their investments. Southall, which Lucy will talk about shortly, is a prime example. But there are plenty more opportunities in Ealing, and these have yet to be realised. So Lucy will now explain why Ealing is a pro-borough, pro-development borough, and how developers and fund managers can continue the growth that's currently in place and for the future.
Thank you, Justin. Thanks for promoting Ealing. I'm just going to say a couple more things about Ealing in terms of why you should come and have a look at Ealing if you're not already. I do see some familiar faces in the audience. But we are definitely, we think, the capital of West London, the star in the West, and as you can see on this slide, the quote from Property Week is we're the standout area of West London. There's a few facts and figures on the screen there, which I need to figure about Ealing. And there's an awful lot of investment already going on here. We've got £5 billion worth, we estimate, of investment coming into Ealing. And as Justin said, the population growth that's predicted in Ealing is phenomenal. And we're looking to improve our retail offer and many other things as well. One of the things I want to point out about Ealing is in terms of as a place to live and as a place to locate business, it's definitely got those qualities that people are looking for. It's got some fantastic schools, it's got some of the most green space across the whole of London, and the location in terms of the public transport accessibility and being those travel times of an inner London borough, but the qualities of an outer London borough and the access to the countryside beyond London. I think Ealing's got those all that mix of things that people and investors are looking for. So I'd really encourage you to take a look at that. The other thing that people tell us is that people in Ealing are really happy. One of those statistics, it says that people, 7.5 out of 10 people think that they're really one of the most happy they can be, and that's apparently much higher than elsewhere in London. So we're a really happy borough, so come and join us. So what are we doing in Ealing to increase development and increase even more? Well, with Crossrail, those 5 Crossrail stations, and the journey time decrease to get to both Heathrow and central London that Justin talked about, we are planning to be a borough that's not just about commuters and homes and residential development. It's about how do we create more jobs in Ealing as well. We're a borough that want people to come into Ealing, to work in Ealing, and use those quicker journey times from Crossrail to commute into Ealing as well as commuting out. So we're developing our plan to allow for that. We've got quite a lot of employment land in the borough, and some of that is strategic industrial land, which some of you may have heard the Deputy Mayor talking this morning about how the GLA is looking to protect that so much more, but also looking to intensify it. So that's one of the things we're looking at, is how we can use our employment land more effectively for both jobs and residential growth. And we're looking at the planning tools around that. What can we do in terms of our policies? We're a borough that works very closely with the GLA in terms of our developing our planning policy. We've got a housing zone in Southall, which the GLA are helping to fund to increase housing growth there, and we're also we're also prepared to use our own planning powers. We've used compulsory purchase order on a number of occasions to make some development happen in Ealing, and we're very happy to do that in terms of assembling land to get the very best out of what we've got. So we think we've got lots of opportunity for new homes and new jobs, and we want to talk to people who can develop some really exciting things around both of those two together. In terms of some of the things that you can see on this slide, as you can see, Crossrail goes through the middle of the borough, the 5 Crossrail stations, and our town centres are around those Crossrail stations. And I'll talk in a minute about some of the things that are already happening. A big opportunity in our borough is around Southall. It's an opportunity area in the London Plan, and it's on Crossrail, and I think the change in journey times is perhaps going to impact Southall more than it is other parts of our borough. Ealing Broadway is already well connected in terms of the underground, so but Crossrail, the impact in Southall is going to be huge. It was identified as one of the top 3 places in London that would be positively impacted by Crossrail. The London Plan and our own planning framework talks about 6,000 new homes in Southall. This is already way out of date, these figures. You develop a plan and then things happen and it's already becomes way out of date. So we think there's actually the opportunity for at least twice as many as that. There's developments that are underway at the moment. The Southall Gasworks site, or Southall Waterside as it's now known, has finally got underway, and phase 1 is under construction. There's a planning permission for 3,700 new homes, and I've no doubt there will be more homes than that proceed on this site. But opportunities that are coming forward in Southall, you can see some of the sites on the screen there. Very literally right next door to the station is a large area of what was employment land, and includes the Honey Monster factory where sugar puffs used to be made. That factory is now closed. There's a big opportunity there for an ex-employment site to come forward, coupled with other land in the vicinity, Middlesex Business Centre and Mount Vita Works. So there's quite a big space there that Bart and Wilmore have been helping some of the landowners on, and we really think that's the next big opportunity coming forward in Southall. Other things that have happened across the borough, in Ealing Broadway, the council's been using its own land through St George development, Dickens Yard, to create 700 new homes and some new retail space. We've got our cinema coming, again St George's is working on that. And the Ealing Broadway shopping centre and the land around the Ealing Broadway centre and station is ripe for redevelopment. Right opposite the Crossrail station are development opportunities in Ealing Town Centre. And North Acton again is another really good opportunity, right as part of the Old Oakham Park Royal Development Corporation. North Acton has seen an absolute transformation over the last 7 or 8 years, from a peripheral part of Park Royal with not many jobs in the area, to somewhere where there's a lot of development starting, a lot of mixed-use development, new residential, new student accommodation, and all of that is starting to bring life to a place that's in Zone 2 and didn't really have very much going on 10 years ago. So that's almost the first phase of the Old Oakham Park Royal development area that's coming forward, and we think that's really important in terms of helping Park Royal to transform, to create more jobs, and also to bring more residential uses in. We've been quite innovative in that area in looking at different types of housing. We've got the first private rented sector development complete through hub development, and that's now being occupied, and we're really pleased to have got that off the ground. A lot of people have talked about private rented, a lot of different models, but this one is off the ground and proving very successful. There's also the Collective, who've been promoting a scheme that was converting an old office block up on the edge of Park Royal, and that's become very successful in terms of creating micro units for particularly young professional people at affordable rents. So that's been something that's helping to transform the area as well. I won't say too much about Green for Green because James is going to talk about that, but that's a really good example of the transformation of an ex-employment site where Glaxo were, and aimed to a significant number of new homes and jobs, and we're really pleased that that development got planning consent earlier on this year. So we're definitely up for making a lot more happen in the borough, and we need people like yourselves to help us do that. What I wanted to say was, as we said, with Crossrail coming, the public transport accessibility levels in Ealing are really increasing. We've already got some good accessibility in the eastern part of the borough. Crossrail will help that more. This slide shows the public transport accessibility levels for a 10-minute walk, and one of the things that we're doing an awful lot of work on, as Catherine said, is we're a borough that wants to promote a lot more around cycling, and looking at how if we improve the public realm to embrace cycling and enable people who feel they can't cycle at the moment to cycle, what does that do to accessibility in the borough? So we've created this map which shows you, if you convert 10 minutes walk to 10 minutes cycle, what that does to Peterhow rates. And those dark areas, the red and the brown, are a Peterhow rate of 5 and 6, which, as you know, gives you the opportunity to put much higher density developments in according to the London plan. So we think there's a real opportunity here to look at intensification in Ealing, and we're very much up for making that happen. So thank you very much.